Well, hi everyone. So happy to be here. This is my first talk for a community from Brazil. So I'm really excited for it to be in a conference like this. Um, I'm gonna talk a bit about how to build Flutter apps for 2022. Um, it was gonna be 2021 too, but I think we're already done with this year. So I'm gonna focus on the next year, and it's gonna be mostly the same. So I'm gonna start with who am I? I'm an engineer and open sourcer. I mean, I do open source at Very Good Ventures. We are the first company to ship a production Flutter app to the world. So yeah, we're really proud about that. I'm also a community organizer. I co-organize the GDG Managua, and I also founded and organized the Flutter meetup from Nicaragua. If you want to hit me up on social media, you can look for my GitHub, Medium, or that community account as Marco Sevilla. And my Twitter is the same, just an J between the name and last name. I also have a YouTube channel for Spanish speakers with one of my best friends that's on the chat. So hey, Elian. So I'm gonna start with basically what makes a Flutter app very good. So I basically sum it up in three main points. First, it uses standardized practices and tools. We at VGV want to have a stricted way to do things, like be predictable. It's one of the things we like about our apps. So you can jump on another project and just know where things are. So that's what having a standardized practices and tools allows us. So yeah. And the third point is basically embrace automation in the development flow. We have GitHub Actions, we use Code Magic. If you are familiar with those tools, they help a lot on the process. So yeah, that's basically the main 3 points we embrace when we're building a Flutter app. So I like to have 3 key components of a Flutter app. We like to have, well, as I said, some tools or packages that we use. We always use the same packages in all projects. So yeah, that's standardization. We build an architecture that works for our team. So also you can establish an architecture that's pragmatic and basically based on clean code for these projects. And also you need to have code practices. And I suggest you choose good ones that are going to help you grow, help you scale your apps. So yeah, that's basically the key components I consider for a successful or very good Flutter app. So where do we start? Basically, at Very Good Ventures, we have a CLI. Yeah, we basically have this CLI that's open source, and we provide templates on our CLI. The default template is a core Flutter app, so you can jumpstart with a new Flutter project with some of our basic packages, and basically watching. You can see the basic structure and all our practices, the most small ones on the Very Good core template. And we also support Dart packages, Flutter packages, and also Flutter plugins if you need having some native code in your app and building for, I don't know, Android, iOS, Windows, Linux, etc. We also support Flutter packages get in a recursive way. So you can actually have monorepos. We embrace those practices too. And basically run Flutter packages get in every repo or monorepo you have. And recently, we also incorporated the auto update feature. So yeah, you can search for Very Good CLI on GitHub and give it a try. Basically, the Very Good core is what I'm gonna focus on for this presentation. And these are the features that Very Good core, or open source template, has. Basically, cross-platform support. You can run your app on iOS, Android, and web. Those are like the stable platforms. So basically, if you want to run it on desktop, it's not available yet, not optimized, but hopefully we'll soon support those platforms too. You have also, out of the box, you have build flavors, internationalization. We have the latest version of Flutter with some null safety for Dart, and we embrace packages like block. We actually maintain the whole block library, so yeah, that's another benefit of the Very Good core template. We like to do testing too, so we embrace practices like 100% test coverage, and we like to have practices like logging our states in our app, or maybe having a linter that helps us embrace what the current lints for Dart and Flutter practices. Also, we have set up with GitHub Actions by default, so we have continuous integration with that. And here's basically one demo of how you can create a very good app with the Very Good CLI. Okay, so what are the packages we use? We use a set of packages developed by the block library creator. That's also our head of architecture and teammate, Felix Angela. We basically have all these packages that are maintained by us, and he has on his account, so you can check his GitHub for those. We have Equatable for value comparison and equality. We use Flow Builder for navigations with the Navigator 2 API. We also use Flutter Block for state management. That's our favorite tool, I guess. And also we use another package called Forms to abstract the form validation logic and all that stuff. And we use another package called Mason to actually generate our plugins and generates our templates. And we use the Very Good analysis package to actually have our lints. So those are the main packages we use in every project. And we like to have a very good architecture for our project. So we have 3 main layers. That's I think the simplest way to put it. We have a data acquisition that's basically our APIs. It can be a Dart package or a Flutter package that basically gets data from the device, or I don't know, maybe an HTTP package that goes to a REST API and then brings data from a custom API you have. Then we have our business rules that basically take our APIs to set up a flow of data and actually use them on the app. That's going to be our presentation layer. And the presentation layer basically takes care of presenting the user interface, and also like having the state management and know where to call our business rules. So yeah, one quick sample I always like to bring up. This actually comes from one of our blogs on the BGB blog. And yeah, it basically sums the whole architecture of what we would do in case of I don't know, a restaurant app. It uses GPS, network, and basically we want to split the 3 layers in different packages. So the app has the presentation layer, and then you have business rules and data acquisition for separate packages. So you can reuse some APIs in different repositories. And basically that's the way we do things. And yeah, if you have questions about this topic, you can leave those on the comments, and I can answer them after the talk. So our best practices when writing code. This is the main part about the presentation. So as I said, we use packages. So one of our advices is to extract your logic and use packages for that. So each layer of your architecture should be on a separate package, and not everything on the app. So migrations come easy with this practice, and you also can avoid practices like shared folders. I always say those are red flags. So yeah, basically avoid shared folders, and we're gonna talk about that a bit later. So you can embrace practices like barrel files, so you can have cleaner imports in your features. So basically, instead of importing a whole feature with your blog, your UI, you can import a barrel file with those files there, and that helps you to scale a lot with your files. And a quick pro tip: you basically need to have a UI package for your app widgets, so you can reuse. I don't know, maybe you have a button that's custom or something like that, and you can reuse it on another project. I don't know, maybe just changing the colors or something like that. A UI package serves a lot for that. And talking about the app, all the things I said before were for basically um, packages outside the app. So let's talk about the app itself. One of the first practices I would say is very important. It's to have like environments in your app, or what we call flavors on Flutter, or basically flavors on Android and schemes or on iOS. So basically, you have three main files, one for each environment you want to establish, and then you have a bootstrap function that's gonna basically inject all your dependencies, and you can custom your dependencies on the main files, and the bootstrap just uses the general dependencies for your project. So you can have something like this. So this bootstrap function basically takes a builder that's gonna have a widget. That's what it's gonna return, and that widget, it's gonna be the app widget. So you can set up general dependencies like an observer for analytics, or maybe some persistent storage or something like that, and you can inject those with a new block API. You can use block overrides for this, and then you just run the app with the builder you had established. So basically, I'm gonna show you how to inject actually dependencies for this. But basically, your main files will look something similar to this, and you can actually inject your dependencies to the app, and then just run the bootstrap function to actually run the app. Okay, so injecting dependencies. One of the practices we use is that we inject our dependencies before running the app. Basically, because most dependencies need to be initialized with a specific configuration, and some of those dependencies maybe need to run an async operation before the app is run. So basically, what we do for that is just like using that exact bootstrap function, and then like injecting dependencies. For example, we have a chat client that is dependent, that it's a dependency for our chat repository. That's gonna be basically our data acquisition layer, injecting to the business rule layer, and then to actually initialize the chat repository, we have a connect method. So we call the connect method before running the app. and before injecting the chat repository to our app. So when we actually use the chat repository, all the dependencies are initialized. And that's one of the practices we embrace for this. Also, we should be driven by features. So every piece of logic you have probably can be broken into smaller pieces. And that means you can have sub-features. And those sub-features can have another set of sub-features. So that's an important part. So embrace sub-features and basically take a small feature to be a sub-feature of another one. So you can actually modularize your code easier. And basically, if you have a feature that contains business logic, that should be just one block. I mean, just one business logic component. And we're going to see an example about that with forms. I think that's a classic example for this. And imagine we have a sign-up block, and then that sign-up block has like many screens for data we want to recollect from our user. And then the first one, it's going to be credentials like an email or password. And then we have like a biography. Let's say this is Twitter and we have biographies. And then you have a PIN to actually secure your account. Well, let's say these are 3 sub-features for the sign-up form. And then you can actually like first call the credentials, and the credentials, once it's ready, updates the sign-up block, and then you can pass to the biography. The biography, it's gonna update the sign-up block, and then you can pass to the PIN block, and then the PIN block can actually update the sign-up block, and you have basically a whole flow of sign-up, and it's ready. That's as easy as it comes. So that's basically how we treat features. We want to split the logic into smaller components each time. So yeah, that's if you have questions about that, you can also leave them in the comments. But yeah, so talking about blocks and repositories, basically our blocks are used sometimes in smaller pieces of our code. So if we have like scopes, global scopes for our blocks, mostly it's going to be like really cost heavy for our performance on our app. So we want to scope them to the specific app feature where it is used. So if you have an authentication block or something like that, you can leave it global. But the main point about this is to actually know where your block is used, so you can scope it to that exact place. And repositories, on the other hand, are basically used in many parts of our application, or can be used in many parts. So we want the repositories to be global. So you can have a block on a specific part of your widget tree, and then you have, on the other hand, another block that uses that. So yeah, it could look something like this. So the app has the repositories, and then you use them on another like part of the widget tree with a specific block. So yeah, for that practice of like scoping blocks, we use the page view pattern that basically says the page is responsible for injecting blocks, and the view is responsible for rendering the UI components that use the block states. So here we have a basic counter page with a counter block being injected here with a block provider, and then we can actually get the state of that block using the block API, and then just like showing the actual state for that. So yeah, another thing we recommend is to use the vanilla Flutter localizations package with ARB files. That's like the native approach for Flutter. So yeah, you can have your localized strings on app level. We suggest that, and and this is basically the configuration we use. If you watch some of the examples of very good core, you can also see this YAML file. So yeah, we embrace that practice too. And then some tips on navigation. Basically, we use a mix of the API 1 and the API 2 of Navigator, and that's proven to be that has proven to be a great approach for us. And as I said before, we use the Flow Builder package to the API 2.0, and we maintain Flow Builder. And pro tip, it works perfectly fine with Block. So yeah, take a look at Flow Builder. It's great. And yeah, we have some very good samples of how apps should look. Obviously, this is all subjective. So yeah, you can take a look at the Block examples. You can take a look at our demos like SpaceX demo or chat location. And you can also check a big Flutter project with the photo booth we built for Google I/O. And also some personal examples I needed to throw in. I have a specific repository with block samples for this. So yeah, you can also take a look at that. And if you're an enterprise looking for more features, we also have another solution aside from Very Good Core that is called Very Good Start. I highly suggest taking a look at Very Good Start if you're an enterprise that wants to scale and actually build features from day one with Flutter. And you can also contact us for this. We give trainings and trainings for using this tool, and also we are consultants, so we can help you grow your Flutter app with this. And yeah, that's basically my presentation. If you have some questions, I'm happy to answer them right now.